Hey, this is the review for AEW Dynamite 4/16/25. It was a solid night in Boston. It was at the MGM Fenway Park, a little arena thing that they got there next to the ball clubs, where they play, where the Red Sox play. And this venue was, man, it was pretty good. I tell you, it was like I said it in the live stream, it gave that New York City Hammerstein ballroom vibe. Like it was like, in that venue, if you're familiar, it's kind of the venue that ECW used a lot in the ECW era. That arena, that arena is so magical because it's like the fans are sitting on top of the ring, and you get like just this involvement, this different type of atmosphere on TV that you don't get in normal arenas. So credit to them for picking this spot because it definitely fit what they gave tonight and what they offered tonight. So going straight to it, Athena versus Mercedes Moné. They opened the night. It's pretty much what you expect. It is what should have opened the night. Is what we've rated for so long as fans of both of these women. And of course, they delivered. Two top tier, solid chicks. I mean, two of the best wrestlers in the world when it comes to women in the women's division. They delivered. It was back and forth, spots all over the place. I mean, it was apron spots. It was a lot of apron spots tonight, by the way. And credit to them because they were the ones to do it first. A lot of the AEW style of wrestling was in this match. But, to their credit, at least they were the ones to start it off first. But a lot of apron spots. Mercedes had a bump where she reversed something. I can't remember what move it was, but she reversed Athena and kind of dragged her down into like a reverse backbreaker type thing. And her knee kind of got a little jacked up in the move. So she had to shake it off. But she's a tough chick, man. Mercedes is a tough chick. For her to be so small in stature, she's a tough chick, man. Like she shook off that knee injury because it was legit and continued on with the rest of the match. But again, spot after spot, I'm not going to go into all of the spots. Everybody else can tell you that. And of course, there are going to be a ton of highlights to show you the spots, but it was good. Both women went back and forth. And then when it got to the finish, Mercedes got Athena into a roll-up pin where Athena was kind of all the way backward and the ref was toward the ropes. And then when she was back, she pulled a little bit more, snug, a little bit more leverage to get the pin. So Athena loses for the first time in probably a couple of years, but it was done in a shady way, which is cool, man. You want to protect Athena's winning record. Now Athena can go on TV and say, I didn't really lose. This chick cheated. She had to roll me up and grab my tights to win in her hometown of Boston. And that's what happened. So Mercedes did what she had to do to win. It was the first heel move by either wrestler throughout the night. Because you got to remember, both chicks are heels. So the fact that no one did anything in a heel way throughout the night, it was just, mano-y-mano the whole time until that one moment where Mercedes had to pull, something a little extra, a little dirty to win. And she did what she had to do. So now she gets to wait for, I believe, Jamie Hayter and Chris Statlander. So she gets to wait between those two at the Double or Nothing final to go against who, the tournament winner will ultimately go against Tony Storm at All In. So, man, those two delivered. I've gone over and over, I've gone over and above when it comes to those two women wrestlers. It's no secret. They're my two favorite in the industry, Athena and Mercedes, and they delivered. And it won't be the first time. Athena will get her get back at All In when she beats Mercedes for the TBS championship in her hometown of Dallas, Texas. Got to remember, All In is going to be in Dallas. That's Athena's hometown. She will beat Mercedes for that strap. Book it. So, next match. We go straight into Hangman, Adam Page. This is another Owen match. Hangman versus a walk-in weapon, Josh Alexander. I'm just going to go straight into it. There's no intrigue. There's no nothing. I'm not going to go to a little drum and say, hey, guess who it was? No, it's Josh Alexander. Like I said during the stream, it's something that's been pretty much talked about. It's been something that the internet has been buzzing about for weeks. I mean, several weeks now. We all pretty much knew that Josh Alexander was going to be the wild card. We was just waiting for the moment for him to arrive. When was it going to be arrive? When was he going to arrive? Which town? And tonight was that town. Perfect time for him to make his AEW appearance in Boston, in, the heart of Boston. So that crowd was crazy for him. They already knew who he was. He also got to keep his music from TNA. So he got that same theme music from TNA. So good for Tony Khan for keeping that. That is identifiable for him as a wrestler. So if you know Josh Alexander, you know that music. So Josh Alexander came out, and then him and Hanger proceeded to give a solid match, man. Both went back and forth. There were spots on the outside. There were, I think it was, Hangman did this diving clothesline on Alexander on a barricade on the outside. That was crazy. And then, of course, he does his Hangman moonsault on the outside. I mean, Hangman got it all. Like I said during the live stream again, the dude has it all. He's probably the most put together character in AEW right now as far as story, character, moves, move set. Yeah, I said it, CM Punk. Move set. He has it all, man. He has the whole package. So another solid match. He also went over Josh Alexander. Now, Josh Alexander fans shouldn't be upset because Josh lost in an honorable way. He lost in like you could say it was a lucky roll up by Hangman. I guess Alexander came off the rope, tried to do a move, and he got the roll up on Alexander. And it was like one of those unfortunate losses. So at least it keeps the mystique of Josh Alexander like, hey man, Hangman, you knew you was lucky when you beat me. Next time you won't be so lucky. So it protects Josh Alexander. So a lot of people got protected. Like Athena, you don't want her to lose if you're a fan of hers like me, but she lost in the way that protected her. Josh Alexander, if you're a big fan of his, you should be happy. He lost in a way that protected him as well. So good for him. So, when those two meet again, that'll be interesting to see who comes on top for that. But Hangman wins. He moves on. What's next? You got Hangman. He gets the victory. And then now you had those two, fast matches for the most part. Oh, let me get back to it. Kyle Fletcher came out and he attacked Hangman, or tried to, and he was not getting the best of Hangman. And Don Callis whispered something into Josh Alexander's ear on the outside, and it activated Winter Soldier mode. And he went to attack Hangman, powerbombed him, did all this shit, laid him out, and it allowed Kyle Fletcher to get the upper hand on him. And then, but Josh Alexander walked off after he helped out. So I don't know what the hell Callis had to say, but it's good because it's storytelling, because Callis and Alexander do have a history. Both of them are Canadian. Both of them kind of come up from that same, cut their teeth from the same type of background. So that's good. You're planting seeds. That's good for storytelling for the future. Hangman was laid out. Now we go into the next match, which was a slower pace match, but a good match that needed to happen. You had the Hurt Syndicate versus the Gates of Agony. Now, the Gates of Agony, I will say this. Shout out to the Hurt Syndicate because they allowed the Gates of Agony to get their shit off. Like, they allowed them to look convincing during the match. Like, they had a shot to win. Now, they wasn't going to beat Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. It wasn't going to happen. But nevertheless, they looked good because they allowed those two dudes, those two brothers, to get in a move set And, Leota has, did something to Bobby on the outside. That was impressive. But, then later Bobby got the upper hand. Spear Leota on the outside came in, helped out Benjamin. Benjamin gave the high knee to, what's the dude? I can't remember the other dude's name. Bishop Khan gave him a high knee. And then that led into a Bobby Lashley spear. 1, 2, 3, Hurt Syndicate wins. Then after that, Hurt Syndicate, they started to celebrate. And long behold, who comes out? MJF. MJF's music hits. Instantly, Bobby Lashley gets the angry face because he is annoyed by MJF at this point. So MJF comes out. He gets a huge pop by the crowd. As he should, because he's another one that we talk about, like Hangman Page being one of AEW's best, just all around characters. So is MJF. He may be at the top of that list because MJF's always never had any problem with his character. He's always been at the top of his game since the inception of the company. So him coming out, huge pop, of course. He's trying to get into good with the Hurt Syndicate, but he can't because he can't get Bobby Lashley to get on his side, no matter what he does. He brings out some local Boston hussies. He's getting Shelton now. He's getting Shelton. He's getting him. Shelton's turning. He's like, oh man, look at all of these options he done gave me. He offers Shelton his Rolex watch. He does all of these things, all these sweeteners that almost get Shelton to turn until Bobby looked at Shelton and said, come on, man. Don't be this easy. Don't let him do this to us. He gave him that look. And, Shelton gives him ultimately the thumbs down. So the saga continues. MJF still has to, figure out a way into the good graces of the Hurt Syndicate. Really into the good graces of Bobby Lashley. So it's going to be interesting to see what the hell he can come up with that's going to be something that Bobby Lashley cares about. Something that he sees that's beneficial for him and his, brothers in the Hurt Syndicate. So good storytelling. More breadcrumbs. Yes, please. Now, next match was, Hurt Syndicate wins, of course. Next match, we get back on the racetrack and we go right back into, Konosuke. I keep messing up his name. I'm sorry. We get into Takeshita versus Will Ospreay. And this is the third time these guys went against each other. They've all been solid matches. Both 1-1 actually, as far as win-loss against each other. And this one was the third, the trilogy. And of course, you had every single spot imaginable in this match. These guys can do everything. These guys can do power moves. They can do high wrist maneuvers outside the rope. These are like your modern day athletes in professional wrestling now. These two. If you want to see today's professional wrestling as far as all the spots, all the near falls, any moves you can think of before there's a victory, this is the match you want to watch. Now, to be fair, it's really good. These guys are the best at this style of wrestling. And I wanted to talk real quick because this is the perfect match to jump into what I wanted to talk about as far as the AEW style of wrestling. The style of AEW is, and I noticed this is like every week now on live TV. Every match adopts this style as well. And it kind of annoys me in a way, but I'm starting to accept it. Like, all right, this is just the AEW style of wrestling. And what I mean by that is when the match starts, both people, it either starts in the beginning of the match or it happens in the middle of the match. Or it sometimes happens in certain matches in both sections of the beginning and the middle as far as, hey, let's figure out what we want to do going forward. It's like every time their heads start to think, the two wrestlers, as far as what they want to do next, they say, hey, Let's pause and let's hit each other with forearm shivers until we figure out what we want to do in the second half of this match. Like, just figure out something else, man. Like, you can do a headlock. It's okay. It's okay to just do a headlock for a couple minutes until you figure out the next spot. You don't have to go immediately into forearm shivers. Like, it's kind of lazy, right? So that drives me crazy. And then it's the false finishes. It's the constant flips and, like, let me get up after the hidden blade and right, like, no, that just, I get it. It's supposed to show off athleticism and how these guys can get up, constantly, and without a hitch. And again, like I said, I don't want to shit on the match because these two are the best at this style. But, the old wrestling fan in me is like, oh man, you don't have to do all these guys. No bullshit. Takeshita and Will Ospreay did easily over 100 moves. Like, it was, it was so many moves. Like, I couldn't even do the commentary on it because every time I wanted to get in a commentary and a thought, they were already on 5 or 6 other moves. Like, and at that point, it's like, you know what I'm saying? At some point, some of this shit has to matter in the ring. The moves are supposed to just put an exclamation point on the story. But again, I get it. It's AEW style. So what are we going to do? Nevertheless, if you're going to do AEW style of wrestling, it has to be the best, the best artists, the best wrestlers at that style. And Takeshita and Will Ospreay is definitely those two. So great match by those two. Nevertheless, Will Ospreay wins as he should have. And he is now going to wait for the winner of Hangman Adam Page and Kyle Fletcher in the Owen Cup Foundation Classic, which will be at Double or Nothing. Like I said, Will Ospreay is the number one guy in the company. He's the top babyface, hands down. The guy did some spinning top moonsault like on Takeshita that was just, I still don't even know what it was. That's how crazy it was. And then they didn't even do a replay on it because they were already on to the next like 5 or 6 other moves. So that's, that again, but that's the, AEW style. You gotta love it or hate it, So yeah, he goes on to face the winner of those two guys, and that's gonna be a slobber knocker as well. All right, now the end of the night came to the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, and Will Uter. Remember, John Moxley had to step in for an injured Pac because he got hurt. And then they went against the Ops, which, they had Shibata and Samoa Joe, who had, they had to replace an injured member as well because Hook got hurt or he was out. He was just out of the match for some reason. And so they brought in Powerhouse Hobbs. So the Ops drafted Hobbs into the Ops. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. What a perfect choice. Like, what other guy that you could see fit that, that faction as well? Like, just aesthetically, he fits the Ops. You know what I mean? Like, Hobbs is just a tough dude. He's from Oakland. Like, yeah, that's what I see. You know what I mean? Like, so what a great pickup, in my opinion. What a great placeholder for Hook and putting Will Hobbs in there. And then plus it gives Will Hobbs something to do. Will Hobbs has been in a lot of shitty matches these past few weeks, not because of his own doing. Like, I've been on these streams, like literally cringing as he, unfortunately had to face people like Dragolistico and being in matches with Commander, and he's been in matches with fucking luchadors. Like, he's Will Hobbs. He's a big guy. Put him in some meaningful shit. And this was it. So I'm happy for Will Hobbs. I'm happy that he was able to be in something meaningful. Now he's a part of the Ops, and he has a trios championship with him now. So cool. Nice payoff for him after having to be putting up with so much crap in the past few weeks. So yeah, the Death Riders went down, man. They lose the match. The crowd gave a huge pop. Jon Moxley ate the pin. He went down to Samoa Joe. It was pretty quick too. It wasn't no struggle. Like he went down and Joe put him in the Takeshita clutch sleeper, and that was it. It was the ref called it pretty quick after that. After Willow came down, and it was so much shenanigans because that's what Death Rider matches is all about. You have so many different run-ins. Swerve came in to help in the end because you hadn't seen him all night until the moment was right for him to help, and that came. He came and attacked the EVPs, which was Nick Jackson and Matt Jackson, the Young Bucks, because they came down to help out Jon Moxley and the Death Riders. And, it turned on them because Team AEW came in strong and helped for the win. Swerve came, like I said, to help out. And down went the Death Riders. Now you got the trios belts off of the Death Riders. Now they can live on somewhere else. Now the Ops can hopefully have matches with other trios teams, other guys who can get more TV time. Because the Death Riders were holding those belts and the Elite had them before the Death Riders. So it was just being, just taken up unnecessarily by people who didn't need the extra TV time. Put it on some people who need the TV time, or at least defend it against some people who need some goddamn TV time. So it's good to see it off the Death Riders. Now at least we can get ready for Jon Moxley to lose the belt eventually, which we all assume is going to be at All In once the Owen Cup final is over. Who he will face in July, we don't know yet. So we'll see. Now I will say now that all the matches is over and all of that, they win. My phone's going crazy. The match is over and all of that. The dressing room cleared out, and it was just this big celebration. Will Ospreay was the first to come out to celebrate the victory of the Ops with some champagne. He was the first. So to my head, before other people in the locker room came out to celebrate, because of course the Death Riders is this mean group that's taking over the company, and even though it's only 3 members. Like there's 3-4 members. This is not fucking Hall, Nash, and Hulk Hogan. This is Jon Moxley, Willer Yuta, and Claudio Castagnoli. Like, come on. What are you talking about? Like, so they came down to celebrate as the Death Riders went down. Will Ospreay was the first to come out. That led me to believe he is number one. Him coming out number one told me he's the leader. So if you're the one that come out, you led out first. So you're the leader of the locker room. So in my brain, that tells me it's Will Ospreay's tournament to lose. And he should win the Owen Cup Foundation tournament. And at All In, it should likely be Will Ospreay versus Jon Moxley for the heavyweight championship belt. Unfortunately, we got 2 more months till we get there.